Hello once again to all of our YouTube subscribers and friends. Since today is Thursday, we're featuring episode 69, part 2 of our Plymouth Volare story. Although these cars were only available for 5 model years in 3 basic body styles of coupe, 4-door sedan, and 4-door station wagon, they and their Dodge counterpart Aspen models made a huge impact in this market segment. You may remember seeing our featured 1977 Dodge Aspen RT Coupe way back last July in episode 12. This is an amazing story and the car is so cool. In fact, people really love it and it usually manages to be in the top 10 for each week even now. The Plymouth Volare was produced from the abbreviated 1976 model year to the end of 1980 production. Along with its sister car, the Dodge Aspen, it was classified as a compact car. Volare is a Spanish word meaning I will fly away or I will blow away, or Italian for to fly. Singer Sergio Franchi was the spokesman for the Volare and sang the pop song with altered lyrics in TV and radio commercials. The accent mark used in the car's name is not in the Italian word or the song title. These 2 models were introduced during the fall of 1975 as 1976 models and were collectively named Motor Trend's Car of the Year for 1976. They were the successors to the A Body, Plymouth Valiant, Plymouth Duster, and the Dodge Dart, which concurrently were sold along with Volare and Aspen during the early part of the 1976 model year until all of the various A Body models were discontinued. The idea of the new models was to make fuel-efficient cars more desirable by making them more luxurious than the Dart and the Valiant. Well-publicized quality control problems soon hampered sales after their introduction. Chrysler President Lee Iacocca readily admitted that the Volares and the Aspens were rushed to market in 1976 and should have waited until 77. This hastiness to bring cars to market caused various quality control problems relating mostly to overall fit, finish, and corrosion protection for the lineup of the 1976 models. The following year, they were also plagued with drivability issues. Unfortunately, this led to an almost immediate reputation for poor quality issues, a reputation that dogged these cars throughout their production. The truth is, once the bugs were worked out before production's end in 1980, these cars were really reliable and well built. These vehicles were extensively wind tunnel tested to be some of Chrysler's most aerodynamic offerings to date. Better fuel mileage was a potential outcome for the complete aerodynamics development program, including a wide range of studies from drag reduction to crosswind stability, wind noise, and ventilation performance. The effects of this testing resulted in softened front-end contours, removal of drip rails, and helped to develop improved internal airflow ducting. Weight reduction to provide maximum fuel economy was achieved through the innovative use of thinner glass, lighter weight side door beams, and various bracketry and reinforcements that were 4 times as strong as conventional mild steel. The new isolated transverse suspension system was a substantial departure from the longitudinal torsion bars Chrysler had introduced in 1957 and used on all models since that year until the release of these F bodies. The transverse bars were not as efficient as their earlier counterparts, but were a compromise that saved space and weight. In addition, the new front suspension system was touted as giving a big car ride, as the suspension had a low or softer fore and aft compliance, which allowed the wheel to move towards the rear instead of straight up and down when the tire encountered an object, dampening the blow and rolling with the condition of the road. The 2 parallel torsion bars and an anti-sway bar were mounted forward of the front wheels, integrated into the spring strut front suspension. This transverse torsion bar suspension was also incorporated into the M and J body cars. The conventional leaf spring suspension was also rubber insulated, so there was no metal-to-metal path through which road noise or vibration could be transmitted to the body. Even the steering column was isolated. In 1977, 1,300,000 Chrysler cars were finally recalled for various drivability problems, a number which also included some Valiants and Darts as well. The main drivability issue with the Valiant Aspen cars were that they had difficulty in starting even after leaving the engine off for several minutes. This and excessive rust, brake problems, defective steering columns, and hood latches resulted in several recalls, making the Volare Aspen the most recalled car in history at the time. Despite these challenges, they still sold very well throughout their 5-year production. They were the right size for American buyers who no longer needed nor wanted huge cars anymore. These two Motor Trend Car of the Year winners were soon bestowed the Lemon of the Year award from the Center for Auto Safety, the consumer watchdog group founded by Ralph Nader. Ouch! The most exciting models from these two similar car lines were the Plymouth Volare Roadrunner and the Dodge Aspen RT. While there were some performance hardware upgrades that could be seen as different than their non-performance counterparts, these cars were mainly visually enhanced by using bright exterior colors, decals, spoilers, and fancier interiors. Hey, it was the 70s, and many manufacturers did this exact same thing to their specialty cars. Doesn't make them any less cool though. Station wagons were available in both model lines and both featured rear gates with fixed windows. They had cargo volume of 71.9 cubic feet and a load capacity of 1,100 pounds, which was only 100 pounds less than the larger Chrysler wagons. The liftgate opening was nearly 4 feet wide and 27.6 inches high. There were very little everyday items that couldn't fit into this hauler. With the rear seat folded down, the cargo area was 74 inches long at the belt line and 43.2 inches wide between the wheelhouses. Tom was a drummer in a cover band back then, so I'm sure these wagons would have made short work out of hauling his double bass, 9-piece kit, and all the rest of the gear. Premium station wagons featured simulated wood grain on their exterior side panels. On the Volare Premiers, like our feature car last Sunday, they had the wood grain paneling, outlined in stainless steel framing with a matte black painted insert. On Aspen SEs, the wood grain was framed in a blonde-like painted metal, outlining the wood look trim. This feature gave these wagons a premier appearance, and that of cars that were much more expensive to buy than these. Compared to other premier wagons of the day, these were conservatively styled and were quite attractive. This decor still looks good today. For its last year of production, and at the insistence of Lee Iacocca, both the Volare and the Aspen were radically restyled. The most obvious was the new front end. It featured a thin grille and rectangular headlamps, achieved by sharing the hood, fenders, and front bumper with the Dodge Diplomat. The following year, both cars faded into history and were replaced by the illustrious K car. Well, that's a brief history of the car that was only in production for 5 model years, but made a big impact both then and now. They were attractively styled and still look contemporary today. Because so many were made, it shouldn't be too hard to find a clean original or a solid project car. Many of the mechanical parts are shared with other Mopars, so you can build whatever your budget and imagination allows. Tell us in the comments about your dream Volare, or if you have any fond memories of one. Be sure to like and share this video. As always, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you keep getting top-notch content like this and our next Sunday feature, the original unmolested shop truck of the famous Southern California hot rod builders Pete and Jake's. You don't want to miss this one. It's nearly identical to its first time build in 1971. Even the paint is original to that date. Until then, stay safe out there.